Okay, this is just a quick demonstration of what I'm up to with the Otto RC controller. So this is my prototype at the moment, and the plan is that this will replace what I used for Otto RC, which was the FreeNove, so that this is going to be dedicated to the Otto bots. Okay, just to talk you through what's on the board here. At the bottom we have an Uno, okay, all powered by a 9 volts battery. That's plenty enough for this little joystick shield. Yeah, so this is the Funduino joystick shield. So you've got 4 buttons here. You've actually got 2 other buttons here, which I'll talk about a bit later. Analog joystick controller and the RF. Okay, so the NRF 24L01. So this is what's going to communicate with Otto. There is an option, of course, to put the Bluetooth if we wish to here. I tried the Nokia LCD screen on here. The pins are not the same as the pins on the Funduino, so you actually have to wire it up. So what I've done instead, which was certainly what people wanted, was connect up the OLED to the Funduino. What I've got over here, of course, is the gyroscope, the MPU, and I'll talk about that a bit later. I haven't hooked this up yet, but I do know how to do that, and I will write the code so that this works with the OLED and works with the joystick. So this gives this gamepad, or what I'm going to call this the OttoPad, tilt control as well as joystick control. Okay, so just fire this. I mean, there are sort of ugly features about this that you'll see. I mean, the 9 volt plugs in like this, so this actually sticks out quite a long way. It did that on the FreeNove. I didn't like that. There will definitely be better options as to powering up the Uno and the Shield, but I'll do it this way for now because it's this is just a prototype. Also, this NRF module, this is the old one. You can see I've actually had to solder the capacitor onto this one. They had transmission problems, power issues basically. This is the newer one, so it's actually much smaller. So you can see for design purposes, actually, it's about 3 millimeters shorter than the other one, 3 or 4 millimeters shorter, which is nice. This actually sits in line with the USB connector on the Uno rather than sticking out further. Of course, the other option which I have on the Otto is the one with the antenna. This isn't really necessary. I've got plenty of range with just this. Okay, and you can see here this would be even more problematic. I know people who are used to radio controllers are quite happy with these antennas all over the place, but this really would be a problem unless we rewired things and maybe had the in this orientation, for instance. Okay, so that would be a possibility underneath there, and the antenna would come up, but this would require rewiring so that the connections were made to this. Okay, I've just plugged it in for the time being. Okay, let's fire it up. Okay, so just a welcome screen, if you like, OttoPad, the logo. So that will be on for 5 seconds, I think. So you can see that the OLED screen is now being updated with the analog values. So as I move the analog joystick, this is what the NRF module will be sending to Otto. Well, partly it sends other things as well. Okay, and you can see there I've got nice control. It's just reading the values taken from A0 and A1, which are the connections of the analog joystick for the X-axis and the Y-axis. But we've also got button control. So you can see here I can be moving the analog joystick and it will be picking up the button presses, so that will give us plenty of scope for different movements or combinations. I talked to my son about this and he said, yeah, gamers are very, very familiar with these key presses. Okay, so yep, so that's how this works. These 2 buttons here, what I was thinking about actually is for this button here is a mode options. So the default mode will be the analog joystick, and if you press this once, it will then move into tilt mode or whatever we choose to call it, and then there'll be code where the gyroscope then the gamepad will act as it will pick up any sort of orientations and tilts, and you can control Otto then not using the joystick. Or you could have both of them, but you could actually have it as a tilt control, very much like you get on a mobile phone for games. So that's quite a nice feature that I haven't seen on basically it's making it into a Switch controller essentially. I haven't seen this on sort of DIY builds. The second button here, I think actually this could be quite useful, but I'm going to need help with this because I just don't know enough about the autos. This button here could actually cycle through different autos. So, you know, auto classic may be the default mode, and then, you know, press it once, you've got humanoid or wheels, you know, for the second one. And we could write onto the screen which auto is actually going to be the command's going to be sent to. Okay, so that, I mean, I haven't programmed these buttons yet. That's just something for the future. Okay, so yep, very simple. I'm in the same way that I coded the Freenove. I'll be sending these values. In fact, these values plus the button states to my Otto. Okay, so here he is. There he is. Okay, and controlling him now from a proprietary or a sort of DIY module. Now, the other thing I've worked on is actually this. I was interested in getting the MPU working with the OLED and working with the Funduino. So I'll knock this up. Bear with me. Okay, so very much a sort of a work in progress at the moment. Let's just pop that over there. Okay, so what I have here is, of course, two I2C modules, the gyroscope and the OLED, and I've hacked somebody else's code. They were using a different library for the OLED, so I've made it into the libraries. I've converted all the libraries so it would work with Blockly with other bits. Okay, so that's for the future. But yeah, so this OLED is just being run by the standard programs that we see in Blockly, and this is the cheapo GP. What name is it? The GY521 module. Okay, so fire this up and you'll see what's going on. Okay, so again, 2 seconds welcome screen, and now what I've got is the orientation. So if I start to tilt this, you should see the values of X and Y changing. So in the same sort of way that I had the values for, so this will give you 0 to 360 for the different orientations. You can see, in fact, it goes negative. I need to see what he's done with his program. That wasn't me who coded that. So the mapping's slightly wrong there. You need to put a ceiling on this. Okay, so you can see there, nice orientation. And again, it will just be a case of coding the combinations of the X, Y, Z so that we have the motion that we want from the OttoPad. Okay, so yep, about to connect this up to the prototype. Yeah, this is where I am at the moment with OttoPad.